I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call it quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all it is. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve, stress, seal my greed. That's how I get it. Success ain't no given. Some days I don't eat, I don't sleep. When I'm focused on dangerous, they don't want it when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank. I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze. The roads racing through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag. I know this because I've been in it. I don't need to brag. I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. But some family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket. Houston, we got a problem. I ain't perfect. Let them watch me elevating. Got them nauseous cause I'm the pilot in the cockpit. Nose diving in the house and whoo. Watch how I get ahead. Watch how I get ahead. Watch how I get ahead.
It's time! Welcome to DFS by the Numbers with your host, Brady.
Better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers and welcome to Best Bet for UFC Vegas 69. We got Jessica Andrade going against Erin Blanchfield. We have 11 fights to talk about. Not the best card in the world, but I still think there's some solid spots to make some money. And as always, we get to watch fights on a Saturday. Nothing better than that. I am here with Patrick, Addicted to Combat. We got Narco. We got Weezy in the building. Patrick, what is up? Are you looking forward to UFC Vegas 69?
I mean, we could talk about the quality of this card and how few ranked fighters there are, but let's face it, man, there's not been a UFC card in my life I've not been excited to watch, so let's get after it and make some money.
Let's go. We got Narco. Narco, what is up? You looking forward to the card?
Yeah, I mean, always looking forward to a UFC card. Like Patrick said, man, come on. I mean, we sit here and complain, but then if there's no UFC, what do? We fucking complain. So I'll take UFC over no UFC, so it doesn't matter what the card is.
Yeah, we're going to complain either way, so you might as well just watch the fights, right? So we got Weezy. Weezy, what is up? Stepping in on like 2 minutes notice. What is going on?
Well, I am going to complain, but I'm going to complain as a result of things that I've done to myself. I actually have a bet on the Ovin St. Preux Philippe Lins fight. So, I mean, like, I've done it to myself at this point. I might as well come on the show. I might as well talk about all my best bets because I've found ways to get involved in this card in ways that I could really have me shaking my head after this is all over. If this goes tits up, Brady, it's going to be ugly. So, but let's talk about it, man. Let's go through these fights.
Let's do it. Before we get started, if you guys can please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. I did link down Narco and Patrick's information below for their YouTubes. Go check them out. Go subscribe to them. And then also go subscribe to Uncle Weezy. He's not down there, but he's Uncle Weezy on YouTube there. I'm going to quickly go through the rules for if you guys are new or just a quick refresh. So there's 6 rules we got here. The first rule, we're going to use 1 hypothetical unit on each best bet. You will bet a total of 10 fights per show. The other fights will be passed on. So today we have 11 fights to talk about. These guys will get 1 pass. We're going to be sure to use current lines that are available at the time of the show. And the goal at the end of the year is to have 100 bets for each person or 10 shows per week or 10 shows this year. And then you will have 1 best bet of the card at the end. And if you get that right, you will double your profit for that fight. The standings will be updated weekly, and the one with the most profit at the end of the year does win. The standings are currently updated down in the description below. Go check them out. We have Lou Betya, 2 cards in, plus 10.25 units. Him sitting in first there right now. Let us shout out the chat real quick, then we'll get started. We got Josh, first one in here. We got Propaholic. We got Nelson. We got Cole. We got Herc. We got Chase. We got Ryan. AJS. We got Jan in the chat as well. We got Ryan as well. We got Landon. We got Oh Shucks, Boofy, TFETV. What is up, guys? We got the Man Cave MMA. What is up, everybody? All right, I say we get into it, and we will start with the first fight of the night. We got Clayton Carpenter going against Juan Camilo Ronderos. We got Carpenter around minus 300, Ronderos around the plus 250, plus 260. Let's start with you, Patrick. What do you like for the first fight of the card?
Man, I'm all over Clayton Carpenter here. I just think the skill gap is very vast in this fight. We got Juan Camilo coming in after that recreational drug use suspension. He also had an elbow injury in his camp that kept him out of training as well. And the guy just does not have very much experience at all. His takedown defense looks very sloppy, non-existent almost. And I just think he's a lot slower on the feet as well. So a guy like Carpenter, who's got the Muay Thai experience, the grappling experience. I think the kid's on another level, so I'm taking him inside the distance. Carpenter ITD is -125 on DK right now.
All right, Patrick with the Carpenter inside the distance. We'll go to you, Narco. What do you like for this fight here?
I'm right there with Patrick. I like the ITD on Carpenter. The thing is, like, when you watch Juan Camilo, not really good anywhere, to be honest. Like, his striking is not good. His grappling is not that good. We saw Dvorak choke him out with one arm. Like, Carpenter, to me, is good everywhere. And the only thing I will say with Carpenter is his defensively, he's not very good. He tends to get hit on the feet. He doesn't check any calf kicks from what I saw on tape. So those are two deficiencies I do see in Carpenter's game, but is Ronderos going to actually take advantage of those? I don't think so. I don't really see a good calf kicking game from him. I don't really see good striking from him. So I think Carpenter wins everywhere here. So ITD -125, I think is a pretty good bet. I mean, I haven't made the actual bet, but I do think it's pretty good here because when I do look at Carpenter, he's very aggressive as well. So you like to see that in a guy when you're playing ITD on him.
Yeah, I like it. Weezy, we got Patrick with the Carpenter inside the distance as well as Narco. What do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, I'm not going to get cute with this one. I'm just going to go with the Carpenter money line here, just to try. I really think that this would be shocking to me if Ronderos actually found a path to victory here outside of some kind of banana peel injury, disqualification type of thing, because he just doesn't look to be ready. I mean, he came into the UFC at 4-0, and two of those fights, I mean, like, he lost to Shelton. He lost all 5 rounds to Shelton. I don't know how the hell he got that decision. And then the fight against Elliott, he was losing every second of that fight up until he got that really weird armbar that he got. So, I mean, I don't know if this kid even really belongs here. But Carpenter has been fighting all over the world since he was a kid. This guy's grown up, boxing, Muay Thai, pancration, wrestling. I mean, he's done it all. So yeah, I'm just going with the Clayton Carpenter money line -275 on Bet Online right now.
-275. I got you there. We got Propaholic with the Dono 99. Appreciate Propaholic. Best of luck to you today. He's also saying Carpenter a sub or decision. We got Andy Mush saying it's Carpenter all day, but these little fights can be very volatile, understandable to stay away. Yeah, I like a lot of these fights on this card for sure, but I do feel pretty good about Carpenter myself. All right, let us move on to the next fight. We have AJ Fletcher going against Themba Rimbo. Weezy, I have a suspicion that this could potentially be your ass shaving of the week, so I'm going to kick it to you first.
Yeah, it is, and I have a tracked bet on this one. It's 1.15 units on AJ Fletcher inside the distance here against Rimbo, -115 right now on DraftKings Sportsbook. I see it a little bit better than that in a couple other books that I don't have access to, but that's where I bet it. This Rimbo guy doesn't look like he belongs here to me, so I just figured a guy like Fletcher, who I think has had underrated performances here against Semmelsberger, against Lusa. I think that this is a huge step down in competition for him. And I kind of feel like Fletcher could easily be 1-1. And with a little bit of luck in that Semmelsberger fight, he could have won that one as well, because he cleanly won the first round off of Semmelsberger. So I really see this Rimbo guy. And Garimbo is even rumored to have an injury going into this fight too, coming all the way from South Africa, making his UFC debut, might be injured. And then when you watch the tape on this guy, he's just not good at all. So I got to believe Fletcher just styles on this hoe.
All right, Weezy taking the inside the distance. I gave you the +100 there. You see it on the screen at Bet365.
Okay.
Cool. Narco, what are you liking for this fight here?
I mean, I'm right there with him, and you can get it. You can get it at Unibet or Bet Rivers at +106 if you have access to it, which I think Uncle Weezy does. But yeah, it's +106 for inside the distance there. I mean, again, like, this is kind of very similar, honestly, to the last one we're talking about, in the fact that I think AJ Fletcher is better everywhere again here. He's gonna be able to get takedowns whenever he wants them. Rimbo plays off his back like he's some jiu-jitsu wizard. I heard someone say, I don't remember where, but this guy's a black belt, but I think he got it from like a Cracker Jack box or something. But he's been subbing very, very low level fighters. But then when he fought Henderson Ferreira, like he was on his back for like the whole fight, literally the whole fight. The difference between Ferreira and Fletcher is that Fletcher is pretty fucking mean on top, man. Like he's looking to pass, he's looking to smash you on the ground. And then when he smashes you and you eventually give up your back or do that, he hunts for subs. So ITD here plus money. I think it's really good here, to be honest. Rimbo just does not look good anywhere to me. So he is long, I guess, and he can throw up submissions, but it just doesn't look good to me on tape. And I'm going to go with the Fletcher side. And again, inside the distance.
All right, Fletcher inside the distance, plus 106 for Narco as well. Patrick, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, I'm not far off from anything that Weezy or Narco just said. I'm on the AJ Fletcher side. I do have him actually tied to a parlay as well. But this is a weird fight where it's like AJ Fletcher 0-2 in the UFC. I've gone 0-2 betting on the guy both times, and he's been close to getting the job done, but just come up short. So I wonder, there is maybe a chance that he takes this a little bit slower because he's gassed out in both of those performances. It was a minor ground transition in round 3 of a grueling fight with Semmelsberger that lost in the fight. It was gassing out on the granite chin of Angelusa last time. But, will he take it slower and just get those the control time, secure the takedowns? Maybe. So I'm just going to take the money line. AJ Fletcher minus 294. Not my favorite thing to play here, but I'm just going to play it safe for this one. I don't have a good read on Rimbo either.
By the way, Brady, it's down to plus 100, so don't put 106. It's down to 100. I played it at 106 yesterday. It's down to plus 100 on Unibet Bet Rivers.
Okay, I fixed it. Patrick, what line did you say on the Fletcher money line?
Minus 294 is the best I'm seeing right now.
Gotcha. All right, so we got the Fletcher inside the distance for Narco plus 100. Same thing for Weezy Fletcher inside the distance, and then we got the Fletcher money line for Patrick minus 294. I'll see what you guys are saying in the chat on this one. Nobody's worried about the 9-inch reach advantage. I'm not really worried about it. Any of you guys worried about it at all?
If you watch this guy, Rimbo, he has no clue how to use it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's bringing his feet with him and walking forward like a zombie, even though he's got a 76.5-inch reach. It's ridiculous. There's no process to this guy's game.
And he has tall man defense. Like, he can get cracked on the feet. And, man, Fletcher hits very – like, how many people survive what Angelusa survived? Like,
nobody
honestly,
but Angelusa.
I don't think anybody can survive those shots. So,
and almost 9 out of 10 refs stopped that fight too. He was teeing off on Lusa.
You remember who was reffing it?
It was Beltran, I think. And if you're going to count on one or two guys, it's going to be Beltran or Peterson to get somebody killed in there. Now that Vyacheslav Kisiev has been banned from the UFC.
Mark Smith, don't forget him.
Yeah, a lot of them are bad.
Yeah, Mark Smith will either stop something way too early, like they barely get touched and he stops it, or they die and he doesn't stop it.
No, there's no in between.
There's no in between with Mark Smith.
Saying heavy on the under 2.5 and small on Fletcher inside the distance. I like both there. Fletcher should get it done. I agree with that. All right, we'll keep moving on. All right, we have the next fight is OSP versus Philippe Lins. We got Lins minus 220. OSP plus 185. If I was on the show today doing this, I would probably pass on this one. So I'm curious to see if you guys have any bets on this one. We'll start with you, Narco. You like anything here?
Here's my pass card.
All right.
I like have nothing to do with this fight.
So me and Narco are in agreement that this fight probably is the pass fight of the card. But you never know, Patrick. You like anything for this fight?
I've got my notes here, a big PASS written down by OSP/Lins, literally right on my page here. I thought I was going to be the clever one and using the one pass here, but not a hot take. So I would lean the over 2.5, honestly, in this fight. I'm not sure what the alternate is of the over 1.5, but I think this will be a pretty low striking output affair. So either the cage wrestling or just playing, patty cake on the feet, something like that. I think it'll go over, but I'm going to pass for the sake of the show.
All right, so Narco with the pass, Patrick with the pass. Weezy, are you passing or you like anything in here?
Weezy said he was involved.
Here.
He said he was involved.
I'm going to make a bet here, man. I'm going to go with that under 2.5 rounds at plus 104 right now, and I'll just throw some analytics out here. yeah, it looks like St. Prue's completely washed. And yeah, it looks like Linz doesn't really care. But, this is only a 49% under 2.5 line at plus 104. That's the implied probability of the line. 59% of 205-pound 3-round fights finish under 2.5 rounds. When you add up St. Preux and Linz at the UFC level in their combined 3-round fights, 16 of 23 have finished under 2.5 rounds. That's 69.57%. So in the edges that I look for, I'm seeing a 10% edge over the from the benchmark to the implied probability of the line. I'm seeing a 20% edge between the two fighters' combined performance and the implied probability of the line. And I'm seeing a 10% edge in the difference between how St. Preux and Linz go under 2.5 compared to the benchmark for the division. So it's a trifecta bet. There's 40% edge in those three metrics if you add them up. So it's something I'm just going to play because the analytics are screaming in my face that this bet is extremely underpriced. Hey, if it doesn't cash, it doesn't cash. Wouldn't be the first time, I'll tell you that.
Yep, I was actually tempted on the under earlier in the week as well. I can't put any money on this fight, but I think that's what I would attack to if I was to play at Weezy. So Weezy on the under 2.5 rounds here. I'll bring it up to see what we're on so far. So thus far, we got Narco on the Carpenter ITD minus 125, Fletcher ITD plus 100, and then he's passing on the Linz fight. We got Patrick on the Carpenter ITD minus 125. He's on the Fletcher money line minus 294, and then he's passing on the Linz fight. Weezy on the Carpenter money line minus 275, the Fletcher ITD plus 100, and then the Linz under 2.5 rounds plus 104 on FanDuel Sportsbook. See what you guys are saying in the chat here. Linz KO plus 250. We got iRush saying Uncle Weezy's the GOAT. There we go. Probaholic saying Linz is going to land big shots early. Josh saying I think OSP gets outstruck by volume. I got Linz on this one. Yeah, we'll have to see. I think it's going to be an interesting fight that I may or may not watch this one. But we'll move on to the next fight. We got Evan Elder going against Naseem Sadikov. We got Sadikov minus 200. We got Evan Elder plus 170. Very interesting fight here. Really curious to hear you guys' thoughts on this. We'll start with you, Narco. What are you liking for this fight here?
I'm on the Evan Elder side here. I think Naseem has good striking. I really like his striking game. I think he has good spinning kicks, in and out with his hands. He's pretty solid with his striking. The deficiency I see is actually in his takedown defense. He really hasn't been tested outside of a fight where I'm familiar with Juan Carlos de Leon. He's like 0-3, 0-4. He's a Fury FC guy. But when you watch that fight and the amount of time he gets to hold Naseem against the cage, gets him down once or twice. The other one was John Herrera, another Fury FC guy. He also gets him down. But these guys are not really good wrestlers at all. And them cage pushing, them holding Naseem against the cage is a big red flag for me. The other part is I do live spaces, and I have a guy that is always in there that grapples against these guys from Naseem's gym. He grapples against what's his name, the champion, and Aljo and a bunch of these other guys. And he seems to think that, or he tells me that Naseem is terrible when it comes to jiu-jitsu. He's not good. If he gets down there, he's not very good defending submissions. He's always getting destroyed in jiu-jitsu in the gym. That's what he tells me. So on tape, I don't like what I see with his takedown defense. And what I see here in Evan Elder is a guy that's been training at Kill Cliff for a while, took a short notice fight against a monster at 170 in Preston Parsons, where he could not implement any grappling there against Parsons. Parsons just way stronger than him. So here, I do think the strength advantage is going to be on the Elder side when it comes to grappling. And I do think he's going to utilize that to get Sadikov down and win some minutes. So for me, I'm going to go with a little tricky thing here. Elder by decision. It's plus 430. I do think he gets this fight to the ground. And the other thing I liked is when you hear his interview, he talked all the good things about Naseem and his striking. But then he said, when you watch his tape, we do see some holes in his game and we're going to take advantage of it. And the only hole I see is the takedown defense, the grappling.
All right, Elder by decision plus 430, the juiciest odds thus far. Weezy, what are you liking for this fight here?
Yeah, I mean, echo everything that Narco Cop just said. When I taped both these guys, I went deep. You know, I definitely watched at least 5 or 6 fights from both of them, and you know, they're both good. They're both pretty well rounded. Sadikov, his tape pops a little bit more on the feet, and then with Elder, you just see a dude who's pressuring and throwing with a lot of power, and he's mixing everything together pretty good. And both these guys are coming from great camps, but with one guy being minus 200 and the other plus 170, I've just got to go with the Evan Elder money line here. And I think it was Moise said in the chat that, you know, the guy Hassan Zada that Sadikov beat, I was like, man, I got a feeling this dude's a fraud. He's got a great story, you know, but I don't know if, you know, he was ready for DWCS, and evidently he just got smoked last night in LFA. So, yeah, I'm going with that Evan Elder money line at plus 170. And I've been very close to betting it all week. I might pull the trigger and throw 1 unit on that still. I think that's a good amount of value.
All right, we got Narco with the Elder decision, Weezy with the Elder money line. Patrick, are you on that Elder side as well, or are you going something else?
Man, this is the most Elder love I've seen, like in any show I've watched this week, but I'm also on that side. I did not bet it because around the time I was researching this, I thought it would be like a pick 'em price tag when I saw the lines. And then I saw that it was like, you know, plus 140, plus 145 Elder. Wasn't enough to really get my interest, but this plus 170 I do like. So that'll be my bet for the show. Again, I like Elder's, the fact that we've seen him in his debut up a weight class actually show resiliency, the tenacity to continue and try to advance to position on top, even in round 3 when he was gassed. I mean, I've never seen Naseem do that. He's always been in the driver's seat, you know, kind of can crushing a little bit. So I'd give the boxing advantage to Sadikov, the power, but I think the kicking game is to Elder as well. Not only the cage wrestling he can advance on, but the leg kicks as well are debilitating for the Elder side. So give me Elder. I think this will be a longer, greasier fight. There's a chance he could get finished by Naseem early, but I think Elder's the guy who's going to be resilient and tenacious enough to get this done. So plus 170, give me that underdog shot.
All right, Patrick with the Elder money line shot as well. All right, so the full panel is on Elder here. I do want to address one comment from Bag. You guys are sleeping on Rimbo. I'm pretty sure is a future title contender. I hope you're joking, Bag, but if you're not joking, let me know down in the comments. But I hope you're joking, though.
I saw Rimbo holding a championship
one person that
belt.
agrees with him is Temba Garimbo, because if you ask Temba Garimbo, he'll tell you that he's a future champion.
Yeah.
He will. He will. Patrick, you want to say something?
Yeah, I mean, he's holding the championship belt. I've seen the pictures. He's got like the little replica belt he's holding, trying to be the next Kamaru Usman, I think he said.
True. Maybe Bag is onto something. Maybe he's onto something. We'll have to see today. But we'll move on to the next fight. We got Hussein Ashkabab going against Jamal Emmers. We got Ashkabab around like the minus 150, minus 160. Emmers around plus 130. We'll start with you, Narco. What are you liking for this fight here?
Yeah, I mean, this is one where I'm kind of against most people. Again, a lot of people are on Emmers, and they're showing a lot of Emmers love here. But you know, I get the narrative that Ashkabab hasn't fought for a while. He's fought a lot of cans, but he's completely dominated all these cans. Like, he's finishing most of them. He's got very slick jiu-jitsu. Like, this guy he has all types of submissions. And when I watch him, to be honest, like, he's got good striking in and out. The thing is, like, he's fought low level of opponents, but the tape is not lying to me that this guy is very skilled. Like, he's very strong. He's got good grappling, very good striking. And what do we know about Jamal Emmers? Shit for fight IQ. This guy has absolute shit for fight IQ. So for me, I hate backing guys with bad fight IQ. I've always, you know, not always, but I've been burned more than I haven't been burned. So Emmers has shown very poor fight IQ. He's coming off a bad knee injury. Ashkabab, to me, looks very good on tape. So there's a reason why this guy is 23-0. And also in that WWFC, I don't know if you guys know, like, they have some kind of rule where you get takedowns, they immediately stand you up. So this guy's still getting a bunch of subs with very, very, short time on the ground. They're not going to stand him up here in the UFC when he takes Emmers down. So give me just the Ashkabab money line, but I think a submission is pretty live here as well.
What's the line on that Ashkabab money line? Best price.
Minus 150 on DraftKings.
Gotcha. All right, Uncle Weezy, what do you like for this fight here?
You know, I'm glad that Narco Cop just said that about that rule in WWFC, because I was watching the tape screaming at the television, why are you standing them up? You know, he just worked to get that position. That didn't make any sense to me. But yeah, this is an easy pass for me. Ashkabov coming off a 3-year layoff, Emmers with a 1-year layoff, and the layoff is a result of a knee injury, and that knee injury was a result of bad fight IQ. And I just can't trust either one of these guys. I don't know where either one of these guys are at. It's a great fight to sit back and watch and then use this information going forward to try to get these guys' future fights right. But this one is just 1-800-GAMBLER for me. It's going to be my one pass of the week.
I completely agree with you, Weezy. I mean, this is probably one of the sketchiest fights in the card, and I have a bet on it, so we'll see how that works out. Patrick, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, I agree with what's been said so far. Like, this is, if I had a second pass for this show, this would be one of them. It's very concerning that we've got a minus 135 to minus 150 Ashkabov, who's a Russian with that OV last name, 23-0. Like, what do I not know? Like, I understand his record is a little bit padded, but so is every other Russian that's looked really good in the UFC, right? They all start with like a padded record. And not to mention the first like half of this guy's 23 pro fights, he was like 18-19 for. So I don't hold that record against him too much. Like Narco was saying, I do like a lot of the skills that I saw. Suplexing guys to the mat, you know, easy takedowns, and then urgency to do devastating ground and pound too, hitting elbows from every angle he possibly can before those refs stood it up. So I'm taking the Ashkabov side, not with a lot of conviction here. I'm certainly not playing this. But, yeah, I mean, Emmers, I get the love for Emmers. He's a plus money guy who's been tenured in the UFC at least 3 times. But like Narco was saying, this guy strikes with strikers. He grapples with grapplers. Has not gone well for him. So give me the grappler here in the Ashkabov, that minus 150 money line.
All right. We got Patrick taking the Ashkabov money line minus 150, same as Narco. And then Weezy is passing. All 3 passes have been used. So no more passing the rest of the show. We'll move on to the next fight. We have Bueno Silva going against Lena Landsberg. We got Silva around like the minus 500. We got Landsberg around plus 375, plus 385. We will start with you, Patrick. What do you like for this fight here?
Not much with that money line of like minus 500 for Bueno Silva. That's pretty insane. There's a lot of spots, though, that I like on this one. You've got a women's bantamweight fight over 2.5. Has been anywhere from like minus 125 all the way up to now minus 170. I don't mind that. You know, if Silva's not going for takedowns, she's not really live to end the fight, I don't think. I like the decision props. Like this going to split is around plus 500 just to go to split. Landsberg is tempting me with that winning by split decision. If she could pull this off with some striking, making it dirty, that's plus 1,700. Even the Landsberg, the point handicap, just for her to win like one round, if she either wins inside the distance, that plus 3.5 points on BetOnline is plus 160 for Landsberg. I don't mind that. But, man, if I'm trying to take out Luke Betya on this show, Brady, I'm going to have to do the Landsberg. Bueno Silva goes to split at plus 500. So that'll be my bet for the show.
All right. Patrick taking the split decision. Narco.
I got to do it.
Let's go. I like it. Narco, what do you got for this one here?
If I could pass, this would be another one. But fight goes to decision, minus 132. I think it's pretty fair. Landsberg has shown that she's pretty durable. I doubt she has much finishing equity here in this fight. I think it's mainly predicated on the Mayra Bueno KO prop, to be honest. Submission is very low. This girl hasn't landed a single fucking takedown in the UFC. I don't get why it's so low in the K. Like, I know she doesn't have many or any KOs, and she has some submissions, but I think she throws with pretty decent power, to be honest. And Landsberg does get hit on the feet, but she is tough. She is durable, and fight goes to decision, minus 132. I think it's a pretty fair line.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on that. Weezy, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, the analytics love that, in terms of I had to make a bet earlier in the week because this line got absolutely smoked. People were betting the under heavy when it came out. And I wound up getting the over 2.5 rounds at minus 110. At minus 162, where it's at right now, it's still a bet that the analytics love. Let me get the numbers for you guys. for this one at minus 170 even. It's a 6.85% break when you compare it to the benchmark for the division, and that in 16 combined fights at the UFC level for Landsberg and Silva that were scheduled for 3 rounds, 75% of them have went over 2.5 rounds. You're only paying 63% on the implied probability of the line, right? So when you add up these 3 analytical to see where we get the edges actually add up to about 25%. And we were talking about a 40% edge for the Ovin St. Preux under 2.5 rounds. This is another good one. It's another trifecta bet, so I'm going to go with that over 2.5 rounds at minus 162 on Bet Rivers.
All right, Silva over 2.5 rounds, minus 162. And yep, I'm on the over as well. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people think that Silva's going to finish here. I don't know. I mean, she has no knockouts in the UFC. Could it happen here? Maybe. But yeah, I think there's just a lot of value on that over and those decision props this week for this fight. I think they're overrating the Silva finish just a little bit here. All right, we will move on to the next fight. We got Alexander Hernandez going against Jim Miller. We got Hernandez, pretty big favorite here, sitting at minus 220. Jim Miller sitting at plus 185. We will kick it to you, Narco. What do you like for this fight?
This is a fight I like violence in. Fight doesn't start round 3, minus 142. I just think it's Hernandez early. I think he throws with a lot of power early. Jim Miller gets hurt early a lot. Carlos Mota hurt him. Who was the other guy? Eric Gonzalez wobbled him. And I think Hernandez hits a lot harder than both those guys. So Hernandez took this fight on short notice. I think he's going to come guns a-blazing like usual. He's going to try to get Miller out of there early. And if he doesn't, we know Miller to come back. And lately he's been knocking people out in the second round. And what do you know? Hernandez likes to get stopped in the second round. So give me the fight doesn't start round 3, minus 142. I think there's going to be violence here. Most likely Hernandez KO1, but I can see Miller also starching this guy because this guy likes to, walk out the door when he gets adversity. So,
yep, absolutely. Hernandez fight won't start round 3, minus 142. Weezy, what do you like for this fight here?
It's crazy because, I hate this fight from a betting perspective. So I said, I'm going to cop out. I'm going to go right to my prop template, and I'm going to find the only time prop bet that makes sense according to the prop template. And Narco just picked it out. Fight doesn't start round 3. It's 14.4% overpriced compared to the benchmark, but it's priced perfectly according to when you add up the 20 out of 35 fights that these guys have not started round 3 combined at the UFC level since 2013. That's 57.14%. It's the only violence bet that's not overpriced right now. And yeah, I mean, like whether it's Hernandez or Miller, it's just hard to see this one going to round 3. So yeah, I'm gonna tail Narco Cop on this one because it's the only one that's underpriced on my entire prop template.
All right, so both going with that fight won't start round 3. Patrick, what do you like for this one?
I'm taking the extra 2.5 minutes here on these guys and doing the under 2.5, which on Bovada right now is minus 185 for the under 2.5. So I don't disagree with what these guys says. I think it's going to be Hernandez. My personal prediction, I think it's Hernandez in round 1. I just think the hand speed, the power is just going to be too much for the super fight worn Jim Miller at this point. But it is one of the more compelling matchups on the entire card, in my opinion, because you got Jim Miller, who's been doing very well against a very low level of competition lately, and Alex Hernandez, who's been losing, but it's against really good guys, and both guys really fall apart after the 1.5 round mark, right? Hernandez will look for the door and quit. Jim Miller, his volume is just very, just the output is just shockingly low after round 1. So I don't see this going to the scorecard. So give me that under 2.5.
And you said minus 185, right?
Yep, that's on Bovada.
Gotcha. We
got
give
him minus 175. It's on BetMGM. And
I
actually like that more too than fight doesn't start round 3 with that price. I didn't see it, but
you want to change it?
It's there, yeah. Can you? Minus 175 under 2.5 is better than.
All right, gotcha.
Get that half round.
I talked him onto it.
Well, no, for 30 cents, yeah.
Absolutely.
I'll take that.
Absolutely. Ivor saying Miller live bet. I don't think that's the worst idea in the world. Jim Miller looks fresh, and Alex has a horrible gas tank. Yeah, especially on short notice. We're going to see how that works out. Probaholic on the over 1.5. We got Lou Betya, the current leader right now in the chat. What is up, Lou? How you doing? Amsterdam saying round 2. Bruce saying hit the like. These boys put in the work. Show some love. Absolutely. If you guys have not already, be sure to leave a like. We have 350 of in here hanging out, which is kind of wild considering the card is not the best. But yeah, we appreciate each and every one of you. Leave a like, subscribe, go check out these guys. The links are down below, Narco and Addicted Combat. And then also go check out Uncle Weezy on YouTube at Uncle Weezy. And they do a ton of great content. So far it's a good show. I think we're finding some spots and not the best card in the world, but we'll move on to, I think this is the main card opener potentially. We got William Knight going against Naseem Prachnio. We got William Knight minus 140, Prachnio plus 120. It looks like Knight's taking some steam after he showed up to the weigh-ins, looking probably in the best shape of his career. Looks like he's taking it serious this go around. So, Weezy, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, so my prediction when I did just the tip on Tuesday night was Naseem Prachnio by decision. But if Slick Willie's making weight here and looking good doing it, I'm absolutely ready to bet him here. He's just got more paths. He's more powerful on the feet. He's shown to actually have better conditioning, and he can kind of push a pace too when he's looking good. When he doesn't show up 13 pounds heavy for the Grisham fight. When he doesn't show up at 251 for the Devin Clark fight. When this guy's weighing in at 206 or lighter, he shows pretty good efforts most of the time, except for in that Dallin Jung fight. So, I kind of feel like he should absolutely get the job done here. What's the Slick Willie money line right now?
Minus 124.
I'll take it. Minus 124. Book it.
All right. Uncle Weezy going with Thick Willie minus 124. Patrick, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, I'm on the same side. Give me that William Knight money line. The guy looks good. I've not forgotten about Prachnio, man. He wants us to forget that he got knocked out by Sam Alvey in one of the most embarrassing ways possible. If you go back and watch that one, Ankalaev knocked him out after that. Then slow Mike Rodriguez knocked him out after that. So this guy thinks that an impressive win over Khalil Roundtree is going to make me forget all those knockouts. The Ike Villanueva body kick. Man, I'm not forgetting that he got gassed out in his last fight against Linz either. So I think William Knight's got a lot of paths here, namely getting the finish, but he can also just power slam and wrestle his way to a control time victory here. So give me William Knight. Yeah,
I would like to see Prachnio and Roundtree run it back, and I think there might be a different outcome let's go around for sure. Yeah. Narco, what do you like for this fight here?
I'm just going to go with the over 1.5 minus 155. I know like Prachnio, his chin is not very good. Historically, he's getting hurt. He's getting knocked out. But William Knight to me, just first off, he doesn't throw a lot of volume. Second off, technically, he's pretty damn bad. He knocked out Fabio Charant with his thumb. He does have a lot of power, but it's just he doesn't throw a lot. I know he can get takedowns here, but I'm not sure if he can actually hold Prachnio down. Like Lynn's got a bunch of takedowns. He couldn't really control him much on the ground. And I would favor Lynn's as far as like a grappling, a better grappler than Knight is. Knight is explosive. He's powerful, all of that stuff. But when it comes to skill, I think the guy really, really lacks a lot of skill. So he's basically winning his fights based on explosive power and out muscling some of these guys and maybe out cardioing some of them. But believe it or not, I have a bet on Prachnio, as bad as it sounds. I think William Knight is very, very susceptible to leg calf kicks, as we saw in the Maxim Grishin fight, where he absolutely got his leg torn apart. And Prachnio's favorite game is kicking. So I'm on the Prachnio side, but give me the over 1.5 at minus 155 here.
All right, Narco taking the over. Patrick taking the William Knight money line, as is Weezy at minus 124 there. I agree with Lou here. A Willie by Gogo Plata. I think that could be something to look at there. Charles saying Knight by KO. Matthew saying Uncle Weezy could legit win a decision against Naseem. Weezy, you think so?
No, and I'll tell you why. The conditioning is not there. I cannot go the full 15, maybe 15 seconds with Marcin, but after that, I guarantee I'd be huffing and puffing. We'd have to get Uncle Weezy down to my fighting weight, which is 206, though. If we get me down to 206, we get the conditioning back on point, I think I could last a minute and a half before he starches me.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it'd be an interesting fight, Weezy, that's for sure. Andy Mush saying card may not be the best, but this panel is good. Appreciate you, Andy Mush. We got Billy in the chat as well saying great panel. Appreciate you, Billy, for hanging out. All right, let us move on to the next fight. We have Jamal Pogues going against Josh Parisian. Pretty big favorite here in Jamal Pogues. He's currently sitting around minus 250, minus 260. We got Josh Parisian sitting around plus 210, plus 215. I see a plus 220. Interesting fight. We'll start with you. Patrick, what do you think about this fight here, and what are you going with?
Man, it's a sloppy fight, man. Two sloppy-looking gentlemen here. I'm not real impressed with Pogues, and I don't like the fact that his money line is like a minus 250 or something like that. That's pretty wild. So moving up there, I'm even looking on your screen here, minus 275 on Jamal Pogues in the debut. Oof. I'm just gonna not think about this one too much and just go the fight doesn't go to decision at minus 125. Excuse me. It just seems like Josh Parisian's path usually is to just use his physicality and just brawl sloppily into his opponent, and either they gas out and he can take over and finish the fight like we saw against Bordeaux, or it happens to him and he gets finished. So I can see Pogues taking the fight to the ground, wearing out Josh Parisian the way that we saw Don'Tale Mayes do, and hopefully getting some ground and pound or a submission. But one of these guys will be too tired to reach the scorecards here. So I like that fight doesn't go.
All right, you got it at minus 105 there on DraftKings Sports.
Okay.
All right. Narco, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, I mean, kind of agree with Patrick. A very iffy fight here. Pogues historically is a light heavyweight. Like, he shouldn't be fighting at heavyweight, to be honest. And if you notice, after his Dana White's Contender Series win at heavyweight, which he fought a guy that is also a light heavyweight, by the way, that wasn't a heavyweight. And the guy that he fought is a kickboxer, and he decided to go 15 minutes of kickboxing with this guy instead of taking him down. Now he faces a guy in Josh Parisian who's a real legit heavyweight that's probably going to weigh 290 come fight time, because this guy had to cut weight to make 266, right? And Pogues, in his Dana White Contender Series fight, after he won, he said, I can't wait to get back down to my original weight class of 205. Guess what he does? He's fighting at heavyweight again. And do I think he's the more skilled fighter? Yes, by a wide margin. But the problem is, I think how he wins this fight is to get this fight to the ground. And he might have trouble, honestly, getting this fight to the ground, because Parisian is so much bigger than him. So with that being said, I don't see a lot of finishing equity on either side. I kind of like this fight to go to decision here at minus 108. I think this fight might hit the final bell here, because Parisian, I don't think is much of a finisher, nor is Pogues. So I think the way that Pogues finishes here is possibly by submission if it gets to the ground, because he's a black belt and he hunts for a lot of submissions when he's on the ground. So Pogues by submission is something that I played already at plus 900, but I honestly feel like this fight goes to decision more often than not.
All right, we got Narco with the fight goes, Patrick with the fight doesn't go. Weezy, what are you liking on this fight here?
Yeah, I'm going with Pogues by decision here. I'm keeping I'm going to be watching this fight with a lot of interest, and not because I have any money on it. I actually don't have any bets on this fight, but I feel like Pogues at heavyweight is absolutely the right move for him. And here's why. People at heavyweight have no skill at all. It's crazy how fucking one-dimensional you can be in the heavyweight division and have a ton of success. Guys like Derek Lewis, who's like one of the worst mixed martial artists on the planet, only has power on the feet. And he's got the heavyweight, or he's got the UFC knockout record. A guy who lands 2 significant strikes a minute. And guys like, you could be good at one thing. Sergey Spivak's a very good wrestler, and now he's on a tear just because he can wrestle a little bit. This guy Pogues can box. He's got good conditioning. He's got good wrestling. Like Narco Cop said, when he gets to the ground, he's got good submissions. And I've seen him in there against really good 205-pound wrestlers, and he makes them work. That Polizzi fight, he didn't get submitted until the 4th round, and it was because Polizzi actually had a gas tank to push a wrestling heavy game plan for a full 4 rounds. He's not going to see that from anybody at heavyweight. So I think, Jamal Pogues should be able to find ways to win minutes in this fight, whether it's with his wrestling, whether it's in the clinch, whether it's with his boxing at range. And I want to see if he can put together an intelligent game plan that highlights his strengths and plays to his opponent's weaknesses. So I'm going to see if he can pull that off this week. And the pick is Pogues by decision, plus 170 Bet Rivers.
All right, Uncle Weezy with the Pogues 170 decision, and I agree with Fight Club here. He's saying he looked a lot more fit than last time on Contender Series, and I totally agree. It looks like he's in a lot better shape than he was on the Contender Series fight. All right, we will move on to the co-main event, and this could be like the lowest level co-main event in recent memory. I mean, we got Jordan Wright going against Zachpowga. Got Zachpowga around minus 275, minus 260. Jordan Wright around plus 225. We'll start with you, Narco. What are you liking for this co-main event here?
Can I ask how did these guys earn the co-main event? By getting knocked out?
Yeah.
Yes.
How did these guys earn this spot here? I'm just curious, honestly. Who comes up with Zachpowga versus Jordan Wright in the co-main when fucking Pauga just got knocked out against Usman, the bad Usman, and then Jordan Wright's absolutely been getting sparked lately? Like, where the fuck do they get this? But to get to the point, like, just give me under 1.5. I think is minus 175 somewhere. I'm not sure where it is, but let me check.
Bet online.
Yeah, bet online minus 175. Give me that under. It's Jordan Wright. It's under 1.5. I know last time it went over, but I think Jordan Wright has potential to knock out Pauga in round 1. Let's make that clear. I know he's moving up to 205 here, by the way. But the way Pauga got knocked out last time was not a good look. And I think Jordan Wright has a lot of explosive power early. But if he doesn't knock him out, then he probably just folds. So give me the under 1.5, minus 175.
All right, Narco taking the under 1.5 rounds. Yeah, I mean, it's only not hit once in Jordan Wright's career. He has like 17 fights, and it barely hit. So, yeah, I'm right there with you on that under call. Weezy, what are you liking for this fight here?
So I'm going to go I'm going to swing for the fences here, and I'm just taking Jordan Wright by first round KO at plus 700. It's his only win condition. Plain and simple. He's going to fold like a lawn chair after about 3.5 minutes. And he can't wrestle this guy. Brady brought this up when we were doing stat diggers. Zachpowga trains with Curtis Blades all day, every day. If Jordan Wright thinks he's going out there and taking this dude down, he's sorely mistaken. And he's going to wake up very sore looking at the lights. So I think that Jordan's got to come out there and spark this dude early. And if he does, it's going to be a party at your Uncle Weezy's here hitting that plus 700.
Yep, swinging for the fences, and it makes a lot of sense. Weezy, like that's literally his path to victory. I don't see him winning any other way. Patrick, what are you liking for this co-main event here?
And Uncle Weezy reading my mind to this one. I actually have this one bet at a quarter unit plus 700 as well for the Jordan Wright KO round 1. So I'll take it on the show as well. And I think even going up 20 more pounds to 205, I mean, this guy's even more limited to have that window of opportunity there. Like he's gassed at the end of round 1 anyways at 185. What's 20 more pounds going to do? It's just going to slow him down even more. So I've also seen some durability concerns from Zachpowga. I'm not talking about the Mo Usman knockout, but even before that, like in his Cage Warriors bouts, he can get sat down by very short strikes. So yeah, give me that Jordan Wright. That's basically the guy's money line is that plus 700 round 1 KO. So I'll take it.
Yep, Narco.
Have you seen an under 1.5 being 175 and then a fight doesn't start round 3 at 330? Like, dude, that's 160 points for 2.5 minutes. That's one of them is very off. I don't know if it's the minus 175 or the minus 330, but one of them is severely off.
Narco Cop, I got that at minus 265 earlier in the week, and I even thought that was overpriced for the fight doesn't start round 3.
Right.
But yeah, dude, I mean, like that's the thing. Jordan Wright's never seen a round 3 ever. So I think that's where the bookies are saying, look, we're not giving you this bet unless you really pay up.
Yeah, but the gap between 1.5 and 3 is just it's 2.5 minutes, and it's 150.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's bonkers,
it's insane.
dude.
It's insane.
That is wild. So, yeah, at this point, I'd much rather take that 1.5 minus 175 there. All right. By the way, open up at plus 115, which is just ridiculous. But anyway, we'll move on to the main event. Before we do so, if you guys have not, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe here to the channel. Go subscribe to Weezy, Narco, and Petr as well on YouTube. They do a ton of great content week in and week out. But we have a very good main event here. This main event is one I'm really looking forward to. We have Jessica Andrade going against Erin Blanchfield. Some pretty crazy line movement. We have Jessica Andrade, who was like minus 190 a couple days ago. She's now down to minus 115. And then we have Erin Blanchfield, who is now at minus 105. So it's closing up quickly. Apparently, like there's injury rumors with Andrade. Apparently, her hands might be hurt. And then also she had something else going on with her. But maybe that's why it's happening. Or maybe it's because, money's coming in on Blanchfield. I don't know. It's just interesting line movement here. But we'll start with you, Weezy. What are you liking for this main event?
Yeah, I mean, I've got this in a parlay. The fight doesn't go to decision here. I kind of figure like any way you see this fight playing out, whether it's on the feet and Andrade is going to be more dangerous or whether it's on the ground and Blanchfield is going to be more dangerous. They're both so dangerous. And then you add to the fact that Andrade is taking the fight on short notice. This will be her second fight in 4 weeks, 2 weight cuts in 4 weeks. And it was Blanchfield who was training for a 5-round fight all along. So, we may have seen Andrade kind of after that Murphy fight, maybe take a couple of weeks off, maybe try to heal up. Maybe the conditioning won't quite be there. So I think there's some narrative issues that lead us to believe that these fighters are going to be dangerous and it doesn't go to decision. And then also, you just look, Jessica Andrade had 5 fights scheduled for 5 rounds in the UFC. 4 of them have finished inside the distance. The only one that didn't was against Joanna Jędrzejczyk, and we know what kind of fight that was. So, I just got to believe. I'd be shocked if this went the full 25. So minus 230 on Bet Online right now is fight doesn't go to decision.
So fight doesn't go to decision, minus 230. I am on that as well, Weezy. Narco, what are you liking for the co-main event? Or main event?
I really like the Blanchfield side. I mean, I bet her at plus 125. I like her still here at plus 110 or whatever you can get here at plus money. And the reasoning is, listen, Andrade fought 4 weeks ago. She landed 231 mostly significant strikes on Lauren Murphy's head with 4-ounce gloves. I can almost assure you her hands were fucked up for probably 2 weeks. Okay. I have a boxing background. I boxed, and when you wear those smaller gloves, dude, like your hands, and if you're landing a lot, your fucking hands are hurting you for a while. And 231 significant strikes with 4-ounce gloves is no joke. So I think her hands are truly still probably sore. And I won't say anything's broken or anything. I doubt she would take this fight. But the other part of it is it's a 5-round fight. You can see she hasn't been training. There's no way she was training after a fight like that. And she took this fight on very short notice. So, it's a 5-round fight. She hasn't really been training. Her hands are probably, recovered at this point. But I don't know because she was wearing something on her hand. I don't know what it was. And to top it off, people keep going back to Blanchfield. If she can get takedowns, she didn't get them against Aldridge. And I've been saying this over and over again to people. Aldridge is a different type of fighter than Andrade. Aldridge is throwing 1-2s from the outside. She's circling the cage. She's using her footwork. And she's mostly looking for that takedown to defend it. Andrade is moving forward to take off your head. And she's throwing big punches, which put you out of position to get taken down. And if you look in the Lauren Murphy fight, on 2 different occasions, she overthrew, she missed, and Lauren Murphy kind of got her down, but she didn't complete the takedown. She didn't get her back. She almost had her back, but she didn't sink in hook. She didn't do anything. And Andrade stood up. If she does that against Blanchfield, Blanchfield's going to take her down and get her back. So I see a lot of reasons why I like Blanchfield in the sense that it's a good matchup from the aspect that Andrade is very aggressive. And when you're very aggressive, you're prone to get taken down. So that's why I like Blanchfield. Not that I like, some people have been talking about, oh, her striking looks good. No, fuck that. I don't want her to strike for any minute of this fight. I want her to get takedowns, okay? I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, well, Blanchfield is longer and I want her to. No, she's going to get knocked out if she stands for too long. So I want her to get the fight to the ground, and I think she can. And on top, man, she's really good. So give me Blanchfield money line.
I like it. Absolutely. Respect the take. So Blanchfield money line is plus 110 there on Bet365. So got you down for that. Patrick, what are you liking for the main event here?
Yeah, I'm liking the Jessica Andrade side. I just can't. I don't disagree with anything that Narco said. It's all very true, and the path is certainly there for somebody against Andrade who, her hands have got to be messed up from all of those strikes on Murphy. Was that like a record-setting performance as far as the total strikes went?
Could have
been for the flyweight and the 3 round.
I mean, it was 3 rounds too. That's the insane part.
Yeah, that had to be like record-setting for significant strikes. But either way, yeah, it's a tough spot. But we're getting a money line adjusted accordingly. We're getting minus 115 for the Jessica Andrade side. So with that, I can't overlook the fact that she's only lost to the last 4 losses for Andrade have all been champions. Is Erin Blanchfield there at 23? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe she's special, but there is that. It's who's going to get the better work done on the feet from Andrade, or can she make this a longer fight, stuff the takedowns, tire out Blanchfield? The fact that Blanchfield has not gone into a 5-round fight yet concerns me as well. Can she rinse and repeat takedowns, or is she finish dependent? I don't really know. So I'm going to side with the experience here of Andrade. I don't think she would have taken this fight as veteran as she is if she wasn't, at least knowing that she was capable of winning it. So I'll take that. I just don't know when. The time props are what confuses me here, right? Because if you're on Andrade, you would assume that she's finished 5 of her last 6 opponents. You'd imagine inside the distance, but I'm still not sure, right? So I'm just going to take that money line at minus 115. I'm surprised it's not closer to minus 200.
Yeah, it was close to minus 200. I think it was like Monday or something, and then it just been crashing down. So, yep, it should be a pretty interesting main event. Quick question, Narco. Who's this? Miyamu said, where was it at? There it was. What do you line this on a full camp for Andrade, do you think?
Honestly, I'm not taking too much of that into account. I mean, it's a small percentage, but I probably make Andrade, minus 140. I don't think she's a big favorite in this fight just because of the stylistics. Like an aggressive fighter that overthrows versus a grappler that can use that against you. That's my main why I like Blanchfield in this fight. Like if Andrade was a technical striker, I wouldn't like Blanchfield as much. But I think she tends to overthrow and gets out of position a lot.
Yep. Charles Barkley saying Andrade is a can crusher. There we go. All right. So we'll move over to the sheet here. We have all the bets, all 10 bets here. Narco, we're going to start with you. We got Carpenter ITD for the first fight of the night, minus 125. We got Fletcher ITD plus 100. You're passing on the Linz fight. You're taking Evan Elder decision plus 430. You're taking the Ashkabab money line minus 150. You're taking the Silva fight goes to decision minus 132. Hernandez, Miller under 2.5 rounds, minus 175. You're taking the Knight, Prachnio over 1.5 rounds, minus 155. You're taking Pogues, fight goes to decision, minus 108. You're taking the Pogues under 1.5, minus 175. And then you're taking the Blanchfield money line plus 110. Is all that correct? And if so, what is your best bet of the entire card?
Blanchfield plus 110.
All right, so if Narco hits this, not only is he going to go up plus 1.1 units, but that's going to double into 2.2 units. I will highlight it there. Narco's best bet is Blanchfield, money line plus 110. All right, Patrick, you're taking Carpenter ITD minus 125, the Fletcher money line minus 294. You're passing on the Linz fight. You're taking the Evan Elder money line plus 170. You're taking the Ashkabab money line minus 150. You're taking the Silva fight to be a split decision plus 500. You're taking Hernandez under 2.5 minus 175. You're taking William Knight minus 124 on the money line. Pogues fight doesn't go decision minus 105. You're taking Jordan Wright KO1 plus 700. And then the Andrade money line minus 115. Patrick, is all that correct? And if so, what is your best bet of the card?
That is all correct. Let's see what that best bet is. Give me that Jordan Wright KO round 1. Potentially double that.
So you wanna just go up 14 units then? If this is
I would love to.
All right.
I know that son of a gun Lou Betya is in the chat as well, so I'm coming for you, Lou Betya. I'm coming for you.
Yep, if this hits, you will probably be first after the end of the night. So good luck on that, Patrick. That is an awesome call there. Uncle Weezy, you're taking Carpenter money line minus 275, the Fletcher ITD plus 100. You're taking the Lins under 2.5 plus 104. You're taking the Elder money line plus 170. You're passing on the Ashkabab fight. You're taking the Silva over 2.5 rounds minus 162. The Hernandez fight won't start round 3 minus 142. You're taking William Knight minus 124 on the money line. Pogues by decision plus 170. Wright KO1 plus 700. And then Andrade fight doesn't go minus 230. Weezy, is all that correct? And if so, what is your best bet of the card?
That's all correct. And we're going to go with Uncle Weezy's ass shaving of the week. AJ Fletcher to win inside the distance is my best bet of the week.
All right, so best bets of the week. We got Narco, Blanchfield money line plus 110. Patrick with the Wright KO1 swinging for the fences plus 700. And then Uncle Weezy going for the inside the distance on Fletcher plus 100. All right, we did it. I'm going to kick it around. Patrick, let the people know where they can find you.
Hey, what's going on for you? Those of you who don't know me, I'm Patrick. I run a channel called Addicted to Combat. So I'll drop my full card breakdowns every Monday night. I do my full betting card breakdown on Thursdays, and then my live streams are on Wednesday nights generally. I believe this week on my calendar it says Narco Cop is joining me. So look out for that one. We'll be breaking down UFC Vegas 70. So give me a subscribe. Let's talk fights.
All right, Narco, let the people know where they can find you.
Narco Cop MMA on YouTube, Narco Cop on Twitter. Do a live spaces after this on Twitter. Also, I do write an article for Odd Shopper, and I also have a video that I do for them weekly that are my just 3 bets that I like on the card.
Sounds good. Go check him out. And then last but not least, we got Weezy. Weezy, let the people know where they can find you.
You can find me on my YouTube channel, Uncle Weezy. You can find me on Pub Sports Radio. You can find me on the MMA Engine, always doing content pretty much 5 out of 7 days every week. And yeah, you can find me on Sunday doing Stat Diggers alongside DFS by the Numbers. We're going to start breaking down this UFC Vegas 70 card starting tomorrow night.
Let's go. All right, you guys can follow me on Twitter, DFS_numbers, Instagram, DFS by the numbers. Leave a like, subscribe, and best of luck for UFC Vegas 69. Enjoy the card and enjoy that Beverly Hills Ninja co-main event. It should be a fun one for as long as it lasts. See you guys later. Good luck.